Hello and welcome to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house and not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Miller, and who's ready to win some wagers today? Good morning, everyone. Hello, David. It is so nice seeing you. Brian, good morning. DJ Ray, you are here early. It is so wonderful seeing you. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has ordered my Sports Betting Illuminated and AI-powered Path to Profit book. We are within the top 100 game theory books on Amazon right now, and I just want to keep climbing the charts. So big shout out, and I've been working so hard on this course for sports wagering. It's so in-depth and thorough. You guys will be learning a lot. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, Chuck Science. Good morning, Chris. Hey, it is so nice seeing all of you. I hope you have had an amazing morning so far, and we're going to have a wonderful afternoon of some wagers. I'm here with my coffee, my cannabis, and yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready to win. So, yesterday was a little bit of a mixed bag kind of a day, but, hitting that Dodgers run line. Finally, I don't know why I didn't hit the day before, but, I guess sometimes you're always going to lose some, you're always going to win some, but last night, that was night, even if it was in the 10th inning, but, oh well, it happened. Thank goodness. Clark Kent thing. It is interesting. Everyone's here this morning. This is a great Saturday morning so far. I have some of my Easter decorations up, and it's gonna be a really, really nice day. Oh yes, I am in my element today, especially because it's such a beautiful day outside. It's finally like the first day where I could really, okay, there was like one day, but like this is like the first official day where I could really start tanning, getting outside, enjoying the weather. I've seen like daffodils in everyone's yards. It's just looking so pretty, and I'm so ready for spring to come. I have ordered so many plants, a lot of Jackson and Perkins roses, and lots of hydrangeas as well. Thank you so much for all the hearts. I love it. Love seeing all the hearts all over the place. All right, have a good rest, and thanks so much for stopping in, DJ Ray. I really appreciate it. All right, well, you know what I like to say before I get started? I like to sit back, relax, get this morning started right, get my mind right to win some wagers. So I'm going to do that with my bong here. I have a new strain, of course. It's called Mimosa, and I am smoking mimosa this morning because I don't have an actual mimosa in front of me. I guess I got a little carried away last time I went to the wine store, and I got a ton of rosé, but nothing bubbly. But I was, I might have been a little high, I don't know. Oh yeah, throw in your play, Chris. Would love to see it. I love that we have so many horse people here in the audience as well. So that's really cool. That is really cool. And yeah, I mean, I do plan on getting more involved with horses, like talking about it on the show, doing some handicapping analysis, but right now, I am going to be leaning heavily on AI and, like different models that I'm building because truthfully, like it takes a lot of time to handicap a lot of different things and to really like be able to manage it all like we do it is good. We've been successful, but you guys know me. When I start doing too much, like other things start getting sloppy, and that's why handicapping, sports handicapping, you really have to focus in. Just like I have to focus in when I'm at the wine store and get the bubbly, not just get rosé all day because that's me. Ooh, I like mimosa. It's kind of sweet and citrusy. This is nice. This is really nice. I love having a mimosa in the morning, like for brunch. I'm such a girly girl. Like, I love going to brunch with my friends, sitting somewhere pretty, having mimosas. Ooh, Moscato is really good, I gotta admit. I like Moscato as well. Um, I usually go for like the pink Moscato, and it's like just very bubbly and yummy, and yeah, I kind of got addicted to that after like I went to my cousin's baby shower and she was giving it out to everyone. Good morning, Tyler. Tyler is absolutely crushing it lately. Whether, it's the NCAA or hockey, you're just crushing it like on all fronts. So, good morning. I love hearing about all of your success. Seriously, feel free to throw out your plays on the show in a stream. But, go give Tyler a follow on Twitter as well, Tyler_picks. Ooh, you waked and baked blue lobster. Huh. Wow. Too much sativa. Dang, was it too energetic, like waking up to that? I don't think I've ever tried that strain, Blue Lobster. That's really interesting. But I'd be down to try it. I love lobster, so cannabis strain named Lobster. I'd be down to try it. Well, I am feeling energetic and creative after having that mimosa this morning. Oh my gosh, for 15 minutes, dang, that's a strong strain. Actually, I kind of want to try it now, even more. I'm like, if it could hit you that hard, it could definitely hit me that hard, and I like it. Yeah, I'm kind of more of an indica person myself, Chris. I like the indica, just chill, couch lock kind of vibes, but I'm usually going for a hybrid, I would say, typically, but I like it all. I like if it's green and it's cannabis, whether it's marijuana, hemp, I will enjoy it. All right, so let's talk about some run lines. I know last season you guys called me the run line whisperer. That's right, Chris, the green queen. Queen of the green. I have it right here. Thank you so much, by the way. You ordered that right off my wish list, and I use it all the time. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, really. I mean, thank goodness, though, right? Finally, in the 10th inning. Finally. But yeah, that hit, and I feel like we're gonna hit even more run lines today. What? I feel like I'm the one blabbermouthing here. No, I like it. I like it. I love the interaction, guys. Like, seriously, I love when you guys are always in the comments and talking about things. Like, it makes my day. It makes the stream so much better. Like, it really does. It improves my energy. And I just think it gives us so much to talk about, too. Like, throwing in plays that you like or things you want me to analyze or even just talking about cannabis. It's so much fun. So All right, now let me whisper some run lines to you. Okay, the first one, just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. But the first one is Brewers versus Yankees. This is a 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern game, and this is what I'm looking at right now. The Yankees run line. That's right. This has been looking pretty good. I mean, this is supported by the money line right now as well. So I like the direction it's going. It opened up -1.5, plus 140, is sitting at plus 124 right now. So pretty big move. It looks like soon it'll be probably plus 120, and then you know how it goes. It goes to even money, and then suddenly you're looking at -110, -120. So I like how it is right now. You could still get a nice little plus money play on this Yankees run line. And this is clearly moving in the right direction, also supported by the money line as well. So the money line is moving in the same direction with the spread, making the Yankees more of a favorite, and it looks pretty strong. So I like this solid play. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't hit the first night, and I mean, I was looking at it, it did look like like a big plus money play, and I was kind of like, this does feel like a little bit of a gift from the sports books, but we all know that the sports books don't ever gift anything, ever. Or at least not without like a huge price. Yeah, I know you're a big Yankees fan, check science, so I agree. I think in 2 weeks from now, like if the Yankees, prove themselves, and every season truthfully is a new season. Like I believe that. Even though a lot of the players stay, it just feels like, I mean, from what I've seen in baseball, it's like every season you kind of have to treat it like a new season. Although you can rely on the historical data, it's really important to do some predictive analytics and, run some predictive models. And, sometimes they're able to uncover things, better than just looking at historical data and trends. So You're a fan of Boone? Now you're messing with me. Oh no, Chris Yank mess. Yeah, I agree. I think that is a huge problem for the Yankees. It's like, what is going on with their training staff? And I think that's something that not a lot of people are focused on, but think about it. How many Yankees like star players are always out, or even supporting players are out with injuries? And like compare this to all the other teams. What is going on with the training staff there? Like, why are people getting hurt? And nobody goes into a professional sport to get hurt and to sit on the sidelines. Like, that's just a fact. Nobody wants to get injured. Nobody wants to miss games. I mean, these are athletes who've trained their entire life for these moments. So you can't have a staff letting you down, not training you right, not giving you like the proper rehabilitation or exercise or regimen, or I mean, that's what these people are hired for. It's their full-time job to know how to protect the players so that they could keep performing at their best. So what's his face back in the weight room? The CBD guy? Oh my gosh. I'm blanking on that name. It's a little too early. Maybe I had a little too much mimosa this morning. Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. Okay. So you're thinking the Phillies are going to win it all. I agree. I mean, honestly, it was really nice last year seeing that happen, and like seeing the whole town of Philadelphia really pulling together. So yeah, I'm excited. I would like to see them play this year, but yeah, it was crazy last year. You couldn't get tickets to like anything. But I do agree. I think they will be at the top of their game again this season. But, let's just keep watching, keep our eyes peeled. I don't really play any futures. You guys already know that. I stay away from futures entirely. But it is nice to talk about and interesting, We'll see what happens. Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes having an owner that's very passionate, that could be all the difference in the world. And yeah, the owner of the Phillies really knows how to bring the heat and empower the team and pump them up. And sometimes like that's kind of what the coach should be doing, like rallying the team. That's what the owners are like paying the coaches for and stuff. But like also for strategy and a bunch of other thousands of other jobs that I'm sure they do. But yeah, I think it's very good to have people around that are, really supportive of the team and know how to create like this good game dynamic like within the team, and like, getting the players to really rally behind you and want to perform at their best instead of just feeling like, they're a kind of pawn out there and whatever. I mean, that's important. Having an owner behind you, having a coach behind you, that's really good. All of these things really do matter for team performance. Yeah, you cannot be asleep as the coach of a professional baseball team. Like, that is a fact. And, until I'm sure this guy is doing a lot of good things, that we can't necessarily see like in front of us. But at the same time, I think, you really do need to get some passion in there, because that's really what builds like a good team dynamic, is, bringing the passion and rallying the group together and making it feel like a real team. That's so important, that is so important. So yeah, let's talk about another run line that I really like today. This is a little bit of a later game at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, but this is the Tigers versus the Dodgers. And I am looking at the Dodgers run line again. I'm not gonna lie. This is moving in the right direction. It opened up -1.5, +110, moved to -105. So a lot of pros jumped on this early because this run line has level 5 money behind it. The money line is moving in the right direction as well. The money line supports this move. So I like this Dodgers run line. It's looking very solid, and a lot of money is on it. Level 5 money. And you guys know that's the highest it goes on my scale, 1 through 5. 5 is the highest level of significance. And yeah, I mean, this is very solid. A ton of money here. And I like it. I like this run line. Yeah, I am going with the Dodgers again. Um, it's not like I'm just, oh, I've got to take I don't just wake up and say, like, I got to take the Dodgers run line today. I'm such a fan. I got to take them again today. Like, I'm such a fan. Bet. You guys know that I'm not doing that. Like, it really is based on math and actually how I apply my market strategy and applying game theory. But it is looking like a play today. It's meeting all my parameters, so we'll play this every day until it doesn't look like a play. And when it doesn't look like a play, we're not even going to think about it twice after that. We just won't play it. And that's how we do it around here. You guys know me, though. I'm not I like going to the games. I think it's fun watching the games, but when it comes to betting, that's when you need to separate your emotions from the betting game, because the sports book is simply playing into the bettor's psychology. That's how they're able to build up big shiny buildings. And, ultimately at the end of the day, when my money is on something, I'm, it doesn't matter if I'm a fan or not. I'm just sticking to my straight analysis. And, right now, this is meeting my parameters. So there you have it. The Yankees run line, Dodgers run line, and I have a few more baseball games that I want to look at, things that look like they're potentially developing. Of course, things are starting to move pretty fast. It is that time in the morning now. So I will be checking some of these numbers just to make sure everything is still good. But we will be diving into that, a little bit of March Madness, and of course the NBA right after that. Oh, and hockey as well. So stay with me for the 2-minute drill. And of course, if you have any questions watching this, feel free to write them in the chat and I'll answer them. Or, of course, email me after the show or during the show just by going to arielcalista.com, signing up for my free daily emails, and then, of course, reply to any of them and I'll respond right away. All right, let's go. In baseball betting, nothing moves the lines faster than a starting pitcher scratch. Much like a quarterback in football, an elite pitcher drives win probability, and his presence or absence can shift the odds dramatically. Sportsbooks build their lines heavily around the scheduled starters, and when that changes, the money line can often move by 40 to 60 cents or even more. For example, let's say Ohtani is scratched from a game where the Angels are minus 170 favorites on the money line. The line may plummet to near even odds. That shift reflects the difference between a team led by its ace and one scrambling with its replacement. And that's why many sportsbooks offer listed pitcher betting options. When bettors choose this option, their bet is voided if the named starter doesn't pitch, acknowledging just how central pitching is to betting integrity. Relief pitcher injuries or the absence of position players usually don't carry the same weight. One hitter out of 9 won't dramatically shift the win probability of a game unless it's a true superstar like Aaron Judge on a tightly lined game. However, when teams rest multiple stars or they field a weak lineup, totals might just drop and money lines might just adjust slightly. Still, these are often smaller moves compared to the pitcher-driven swings. When a star pitcher is replaced by someone with a lower pedigree, the money line moves against their team and the total often rises, reflecting the expectation of more runs. Sharp bettors are tracking these moves very carefully. Public bettors might overreact to some big-name injuries, but seasoned players know how to quantify value and react accordingly, sometimes betting a replacement pitcher if the market overcorrects. Team depth matters too. A franchise with a strong farm system or quality swingman might not see much of a downgrade. Others forced to use a raw call-up or bullpen game will experience a larger betting adjustment. And timing is also critical. Pre-game scratches lead to voided listed bets, but surprise changes close to the first pitch can create chaos in the market. So here's the bottom line. Starting pitcher availability is the single most important injury factor in Major League Baseball betting. Everything else, hitters, rest day, relief arms, that comes second. Sharp bettors who track these developments in real time gain a significant edge over those who do not. I hope you guys enjoyed that 2-minute drill. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to write me anytime. That is funny tech science. Yes, he is definitely iconic for that. All right, let's get into some more baseball. There are some things developing. Now, let's talk about the Mets versus Astros. Thanks so much, Spencer. I appreciate it. All right, this Astros run line is looking really interesting. So this is starting to move at some spots. Some spots have adjusted this. I think this Astros run line might go on a little bit of a run. It opened up at plus 1.5, minus 210. Some spots have already started. The Angels run line. I'll take a look at that in just a second. But this one, some spots have already started adjusting. you know, I could see this playable, like even at -1.5, plus 160. This is interesting. I wouldn't play this yet, but keep your eye on it. Like if it starts to run, play it. But it's still shaky on the money line. So unlike our other run lines where there was a lot of support on the money line, this one is still a little shaky. It seems like the sports books are adjusting, but I kind of think there might be some pros jumping in here soon. Keep your eye on this. Just keep your eye on this. I'm just talking about the Astros run line and how I could see this potentially becoming playable very soon. And I would say keep your eye on it. I think this is going to make a run. Some sports books have already started adjusting this, but let's see. Let's see what happens because the money line just hasn't like totally supported this run line play yet either. And you know, as you're betting baseball, you know, one thing to look at is like even though we're looking at all of these run lines, we're seeing how these odds are adjusting and moving. You want to keep your eye on the money line as well. That's important. Oh no. The White Sox are undefeated this year. That is very true. And you know, I always say like every season is a new season. We don't know what's gonna happen, but last year that was rough. That was really rough. Right now, it looks like the Angels run line is sitting at even money. I see a majority of money on this right now. A lot of people are betting this. Let me just take a peek to where it opened up at. Okay, so it went from plus 105 to even money. I see even the money line. I just want to look at this real quick. So it's sitting right now at minus 165. It opened up at minus 160. So I think right now the sports books are just adjusting for the money because obviously a majority of the money is on the Angels. But considering how little they've moved this at this point, I think they're doing a little bit of a balance act. For me, it is moving in the right direction, but it's just not quite enough right now for me to say I would play it. But it is starting to move. So I would like to see this go on a run. I really would. I would like to see this move like a few more points. And let's see what happens here for sure. Another game I'm looking at, which I think could develop, is the Athletics versus Mariners game. This is a 9:40 p.m. Eastern game, so we still have plenty of time. But Mariners opened up at minus 1.5, plus 155, and this line has moved to plus 140. And there's a lot of money on the Mariners run line right now. Level 5 money. So a ton of money on the Mariners run line. The sportsbook is moving it in the right direction, and the money line is supporting this move. So I think this could develop. I would like to see this move even more, but I think this is starting to develop into like a nice little play, potentially on the Mariners. Just remember, this is a 9 o'clock game, so plenty of time. But it's interesting. Then another game that I'm looking at is Rockies versus the Tampa Bay Rays. What a beautiful day this is going to be. They are playing on the Steinbrenner Field. It's probably going to be, you know, very warm, hot, nice outside, you know, looking at some of the weather. I just think, you know, this is going to be such a nice day, and I think the ball could just really start sailing here. So, you know, that's why I'm looking at the over here. Ah, nice, Tyler. All right, let's go. I'm really looking at the over in this play. I just think, yeah, the ball could really start sailing. Just looking at the total, how it's moved from over 7.5, minus 118. Moved over pretty fast. The one thing I would say is like it's looking a little shaky right now. It quickly moved to over 8.5, minus 102 on level 5 money on the over, but then it pulled back a little bit to over 8 at minus 118 on level 5 money still. So I don't like how this is bouncing all over the place. It's moving out by 1 point, moving back by a half. Keep your eye on this though. I truly do believe like this could be just one of those days where, total just goes way over. But still, be a little cautious about this one because it is bouncing. But I am liking the over. I think this is going to be a nice little over here. I probably wouldn't ladder it up or anything, but I am leaning towards the over. And keep your eye on this. Keep your eye on this over. Alrighty. So, I did want to talk a little bit about March Madness before we dive into the NBA and NHL, other things I'm looking at for today. So, I was watching some of the South Carolina women's game yesterday, just for fun, like as a fan. It was a lot of fun to watch, and man, these girls were keeping it close. Like, I did not know from second to second, like who was going to. They're just really talented, and it's a fun game to watch. So, while you're watching all the guys play, it's fun to watch the women play as well. And I know everyone out there is looking and seeing like who's going to be the next Caitlin Clark, and there's going to be someone to do it, I mean, typically when records get broken, maybe I'm a little high, but typically when records get broken, that's kind of when suddenly, like, for example, like, the 4-minute mile, like, it wasn't broken forever and ever and ever, and finally one guy did it, and then suddenly everyone's doing it. So, I think there will be a new Caitlin Clark coming around pretty soon, but I love Caitlin Clark, and it was fun watching the women play, it really is, and they're very competitive, so it's a good time. And you didn't miss all the plays. I will be running down through all the plays at the very end. But you did miss the baseball for sure. But I'll be going over that at the end. But right now we're just talking about March Madness, and I know we're coming down to the final games, so these lines are just so tight right now. Right? Shout out to Tyler. His women's bracket is in the 98th percentile. Can you guys even believe that? Do you even know, like, how big of a deal that is? That is huge. And, I'm so excited. Tyler's going to be getting on Substack soon and rating some posts, and I think we're going to really build like a strong gambling community where everyone's writing in and promoting each other, and it's going to be great, especially having such good information out there, for other people to learn from, and that's what it's about. He really is the women's basketball whisperer, like, seriously, no lie. He's a true professional. But as these games are kind of, I know a lot of people are going to be watching, sitting around. I just want to remind everyone, like, now is not the time to bet your whole bankroll on March Madness. Like, it's really not. It's really not the time to bet your whole bankroll on March Madness. And I know a lot of Joes out there are betting more than ever. They're betting a bunch of props and parlays. And I'll never push like a parlay ever. You guys know that. Just look at the math, you could see, like, from the New Jersey sports books, just how much money these sports books are making on parlays, whereas they're breaking even on the straight bets. That's just a fact. The money trail is there. So I'm always playing straight bets, but I know the sports books now more than ever are pushing every play towards you, all the live betting, and truthfully, now is not the time to bet your whole bankroll. It's not. These lines are tighter than ever because the sports books know that every single player in the world is coming in and playing March Madness. This is as big as a Super Bowl, like, seriously, for the sports books. And so they have these lines tight and sharp. And okay, you might have been able to do pretty well if you just simply bet unders in March Madness, but you know, I mean, trying to predict like these outcomes is very hard. It's very hard. So I don't have any plays today. You're asking about what are the March Madness plays. You know, I liked for the Final Four, the Gators and Duke, but truthfully, I'm watching as a fan. I really am. I'm not placing bets down on this because right now playing for me, or even for, you know, professionals, or for Joes, or really anyone going and playing against the sportsbook on March Madness, especially right now, like right now in specific, in this period of time, it's like sitting down, you know, maybe you've had a few poker nights with your friends, or, you know, with people around you and stuff, but it's like sitting down and trying to play poker against, you know, like the world's leading poker player. That's the sports books. That's what the sports books are doing here on March Madness. They're the world's best poker player. And we all think like, well, because, you know, I've had a little success on, you know, here and over here, and maybe I had the parlay there, and, you know, I remembered a few times this year, I can recall I did a few winning things, and, you know, you think, like, now's the time to really start betting because it's big and everyone's talking about it. And truthfully, like, professional wagering, you don't just bet it all on the Super Bowl. You don't just bet it all on March Madness. Like, it really is one of those things that you do, and it's more of like a grinding thing. You just got to do it over and over and over and apply your strategy to it. And exactly, you know, it's okay to be a fan. It's okay to enjoy watching the games. That is great. But don't bet your bankroll on it, because you work hard for your money. You do. You work hard for your money, and I would hate to see you guys lose it on, truthfully, games that you can't win, because the sports books, I mean, you can win, but the sports books are keeping everything so tight right now that finding an edge for a professional, let alone like an average regular bettor, is nearly impossible. So just keep that in mind. You know, just keep that in mind. Oh, wow. All right. That's one way to do it. Why not? Well, anyways, let's, before we move on to some of the NBA, I did want to talk a little bit about cannabis. So you guys will see this a little bit more in my morning report today, but first I'm going to light up with some mimosa, and really enjoy. Oh yeah, this is really nice. So I read an interesting statistic. Over a third of the NHL players are consuming cannabis edibles during the season. Now, we know in the NHL, these guys are the guys that are used to heavy drinking and, you know, getting really messed up because they suffer a lot of injuries, and these games are tough, and it's a grueling season for the hockey players. And truthfully, I mean, they used to turn to drinking a lot, but it's interesting that now truthfully, over 33% of them are now saying, like, we like taking cannabis edibles because it's not, you know, messing up, like, our mental clarity versus, like, alcohol, where you're stumbling and stupid and hungover. And, you know, I mean, cannabis, it allows them to calm down and relax at the end of the day while they're playing video games or, like, in another kind of relaxing environment. And it also is, truthfully, I mean, helping with our injuries, because we know that cannabinoids, you know, we have an endocannabinoid system in our bodies. Same thing as you have a nervous system in your bodies. I mean, we have endocannabinoid systems in our bodies. It affects the receptors on our cells. And, you know, truthfully, when you're consuming cannabis, whether you're taking edibles or you're smoking, or, you know, even eating cannabis raw off a plant. I know it sounds crazy when I say that, but honestly, I encourage everyone to do that. It's one of the healthiest things that you could do, and it won't get you high. Seriously, just eating it raw off a plant like a vegetable. it really does bring down the inflammation and the pain that you're experiencing in your body, and you don't have to turn to things like opioids, which will seriously mess you up or get you addicted over a long period. And now more and more studies are coming out every day that people are getting off of opioids and truly able to leave that addiction in the past because of cannabis, which is incredible. So, like, um, wow, that is tight. That is definitely tight in March Madness today. It's crazy. It's crazy. They are not moving these lines at all. Seriously. It is what it is. And truthfully, I think even though, of course a lot of sharps are playing March Madness, they're also being mindful to not, play. They're mindful that these lines are tighter, and they don't need to play like their regular size units. They could play a little bit less and just, be a little more precautious when it comes to their bankroll, especially during, these times where it's March Madness and the lines are tight and every Joe in the world is flooding to every single sports book in the world. And, Vegas is digging in their sports books, their lines. I mean, you guys have seen it lately. Everything is falling within half a point of where Vegas is predicting it. Half a point. That's how tight these things are. So, seriously. Yeah, that's true. The Joes... Vegas is not listening to the Joes, of course. They're not influencing the lines. It's the sharp bettors. But even the sharp bettors, it's... it is tight. All right. Well, okay. So now you know what some of these players are doing in NHL, which I think is really exciting. I did want to talk about one other piece of news in the cannabis world, which is exciting because I'm involved in this. And let's have another little bit cannabis celebration before we get our minds right to win some NBA and some NHL plays right after. Making and bacon. A mimosa is good, and I think I'm going to follow it with some coffee. That is true. Yes, in average games, Joes could move lines potentially. But right now, March Madness, sportsbooks are being flooded. And they're just sticking with their numbers. Seriously, they're not giving an inch to anybody. So just keep that in mind. I did want to talk about this interesting event happening on April 17th, and this is in Dallas. So if we have any viewers here watching from Dallas right now, feel free to throw that in a comment, let me know. It's called Art After Dark. So basically in Vegas, I'm sure you guys all know, or at least have heard of the Sphere, which is this big giant dome in Vegas. It's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of like LED lights, and it turns into like a big giant screen. The whole like outside of the Sphere and inside of the Sphere are just like covered in these things, and it's truly incredible. Thanks so much, Chris. So they started building like a few smaller spheres, not by the same company, but same concept. One is in Dallas and one is in Beverly Hills, right? And on the 17th of April, there is this event at the Sphere in Dallas. But it's not the actual Sphere, you know what I'm saying though. It is called Art After Dark. And this is going to be a psychedelic mixtape and liquid verse double feature. And at this event, Cosm. That's yeah, it's more like an intimate sphere, like smaller, a little bit smaller scale, but same concept. So at this event, the new compound that I was talking about that's a little more psychedelic, that has just, it's been approved by attorneys, it's being sold actually right now by various companies, is called 4-HO DET. and it's going to be given away for free at this event. And it's a little bit psychedelic. If you take just 5 milligrams, it's gonna give you the effect of like almost like an Adderall, I guess. I have not tried it. I can't even imagine like being surrounded by a bunch of people who are just trying this for the first time. But I think it's going to be really interesting. If you take more than 5 milligrams, it's going to be more like a hallucinogenic effect versus more like an Adderall effect, I guess, supposedly. But these are all things that I've heard about the 4-HODET, and even, you know, some big familiar names like Michael Irving decided to come to that event in Dallas. And, you know, I think it's going to be fun that a lot of people are trying this compound now. I think people are going to be open to it. And I have it right here. This is called Strawberry Shortcake, this chocolate bar. So each, this is 40 milligrams of the 4-HODET. So each bar is 4 milligrams. So I'm just going to take one live on air. This is going to be my first time. So I have 2 right here. I'm just going to break it and take one of them. I'm not gonna lie. The taste is a little weird. Like, it threw me off for a second. I think I need some coffee. But they have it in pill form, which is more like a tab, like you swallow it. And then they have it in chocolate bar form. So I think maybe I'm going to try the chocolate one, like the chocolatey chocolate one versus like the strawberry shortcake, and see if it tastes any different. But this is how I'm going to be spending my afternoon, trying out this new product. You saw me try it for the first time ever on air. And I'll just keep you guys posted on how my experience is going. You guys all know how to reach out to me if you wanna find out how it's going this afternoon. So 4-HODET is a new compound that really has some like psychedelic properties. It is totally legal to sell, like completely legal. And I could tell you a little bit more about it. It's, you know, it's kind of like the same, it's like the psychedelic part of mushrooms, but it's not like derived from a mushroom, but it's the psychedelic part of the mushroom. So it will have a little bit of a hallucinogenic effect. But I hear that's more if you take like a lot of it. Like, I'm sure if I consumed this entire chocolate bar here, I would probably have like a very strong, potent hallucinogenic effect. I was a little worried about it, honestly, because I'm a busy person. Like, I don't really have time to like sit down and just like trip out for like 4 to 7 hours. That's a huge part of my day, and oftentimes like I am still working even at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, like doing little detail stuff. So I don't really have time to just like sit down and trip out. But then I found out it is more, like you could stay focused and stuff just by doing a little amount. So that's what I'm starting with today. I did talk to other people who've done this, and yeah, absolutely. Oh, you have a raspberry chocolate one that tastes great. But okay, maybe it's just like a combination of like my coffee plus like the strawberry and cream in the morning that makes it taste a little weird. But yeah, that's exactly it. It is kind of like similar to LSD, similar to mushrooms, but also very different, and also within the realm of being sold completely legally in every single state. So I mean, the lawyers have already approved it. In fact, like major companies, even like Trey House, are already selling it, and they have very good products. I've tested a ton of their stuff. I know them throughout the years. Seen them at all the different champ shows and things like that. So you know, like lots of people are already selling it. And, you know, if you guys want some, if you want to try it, I'll be telling you about my experience. Definitely, in tomorrow's email, after this really starts to take full effect, I know it's probably going to take me at least 30 minutes, you know, to 45 minutes for it to truly digest. So that's one thing that you need to also be aware of, like when you're trying anything with like edibles or, you know, something like that. Like it takes a little while to go through your digestive system. So, you know, don't overdo it. Just like start small and like give yourself time, give your body time. So yeah, that's the best advice I could give you when it comes to like cannabis or even, you know, trying other substances that are kind of cannabis adjacent. All right, so let's dive into some NBA plays. I'm really looking at this Kings Magic game. This starts at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and it's very interesting what's happening here. Now, this total is a little, I'm staying away from it. It's just really weird. It went from 218.5 to 215.5. Even though there's level 4 over money, it's looking very Joe. The money is looking very Joe here. So I'm just kind of staying away from this altogether, but I like the spread. Orlando went from +1.5 to +1 on mixed money. Keep your eye on this. I really think this could run. This line could just run. It could go on a run. And if it does, play it. Seriously, I would love to see it move to, you know, Magic -1, Magic -1.5 even. I think it will go there. And I think it's going to move there pretty fast. Yeah. It is better than its predecessors, I think. I hope so. I'm testing it out right now, and, you know, but the one thing that I have heard from people is like, you know, I haven't really heard anyone have a negative experience. People who've tried it, so yeah. Oh, so it's still sitting at +1 right now, the Magic. You know, it's on a lot of mixed money, so keep your eye on this. At this moment, I would say I want to see it move a little bit more, but let me just look at how everything has moved. It's still sitting at +1. Looks, yeah, I mean, the money line is supporting the move on the spread. I see, ooh, this is interesting, guys. A lot of the sharper spots have already moved this line to -1.5 at even money. And these are some of the more like established sports books in Vegas. I did see one online sports book already move it to -1.5. So I think this is starting to develop. Like it really is starting. Like as we can see, it's already starting to go on a run here. So I like it. I am leaning towards it. I want to see it develop a little bit more, but I like how some of the more established sportsbook have already started moving, and they started moving pretty hard. So I think at this point it's kind of a waiting game for all of the other sportsbooks to adjust their lines as well. So you might still be able to get it like at +1 right now. Yeah. I think you'll be able to get it, you know, before the sports books move right now. So it's looking good. They're already starting to move, especially when I see the established sports books move, you know, that everyone else is going to be reacting pretty soon. Pretty fast too. Now, another game that I want to look at yeah, definitely the Astros. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those lines that's like, keep your eye on it. Like, seriously, I think it's still a little shaky, but I think this is gonna run. Did it move already? Feel free to write in the chat, like, where the Astros spread is sitting at right now. Run line, I mean. Yeah, switching between sports. All right, let's look at the Lakers versus Grizzlies. All right, this is the total that I'm looking at here. This opened up at 234.5, went to 237.5 on level 1 money, and then level 2 money started showing up. So I like how this over is developing. It's I like the over here. It's starting to develop. The money is, you know, continuously growing. The sharps are starting to jump in now on the over. So I think this is looking like a nice little overplay at 237.5. I probably wouldn't ladder too much here, but, you know, I like the over. I do in this Lakers-Grizzlies game. Now, all right, so in the NHL, let's talk about this. Rangers versus Sharks. This is a little bit of a later game. Starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, but I am looking at the San Jose money line. Opened up at plus 165. Went to plus 138. So pretty big move on the money line here. And now it's even sitting at plus 135. So as I've checked this, like, this has continued to move. If anyone has the current line, please feel free to just like throw it in the chat as well. I'm just checking it right now. But it is looking good so far. Yeah, this is more of like a kind of like wait and see play. It's staying at plus 135 everywhere right now. So it was moving a little slow. This was one of those places where I did see some of the sharper sports books move this early from plus 138 to plus 135, and now everywhere, just checking back in an hour later, everywhere has already moved it to plus 135. Like, you can't, there's some spots where you could still get plus 140, but that also like depends on your state and stuff. And yeah, I mean, like I said, some of these sports books that are more established, when they start moving lines, like, that's what you need to watch for. You know, and seriously, like, I like to look at, you know, Circa and like stations in Vegas. They are always moving their lines like way faster than all the other places. And, you know, like looking at Superbook as well, MGM, and really just comparing all of them. Like, you really have to compare it all and see, then you start getting a bigger picture of like what's going on where, and I mean, that's important. It really is. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm liking right now. In hockey, I am leaning towards this San Jose money line, even though I've had major success in the past with the Rangers. You guys know I have had major success with the Rangers, but you also know that I'm not you know, a huge fan of any team. I like going where the wins are. That's simply it. And the pros seem to be backing San Jose, but then again, it is San Jose, so I don't know. This might be a little bit more of like a sprinkle of a hockey play. Oh, Hammer's coming down on a Yankee game over too? What's happening there? That was like, the Yankee run line was the first play that I liked today. You guys remember? And I am going to be running right through all of my plays. I just want to see what's happening here. This is such strong money. Holy cow. Holy cow. Yeah. This over is getting hammered right now. So, yeah. You guys know what that means. The Yankees over. This is looking really good as well, so might want to do a little sprinkle there too. You guys already know I like the Yankee run line. That was the first play that I listed for you guys today. I like the Dodgers run line coming back, third day in a row for the Dodgers run line. Yeah, but I agree. All this money showed up really fast. I did not see the Yankees over like developing so much when I looked just an hour ago. Like, just an hour ago I was looking at this and it's already developed into a really strong play. So I would say you could play the Yankees run line and, you know, put a little sprinkle on over. I like how this is moving and this is looking like a pretty strong play. I like the Dodgers run line. You know, then later today, I am watching this Houston Astros run line. I think this is going to be very playable. Like I said, this is one of those spots where some of the sharper sports books have already moved this to -1.5, plus 160. I don't know. I don't know if this has already moved from plus 160 and has moved to plus 140 or anything. Feel free to throw it in if you have the current number. But it is still a little shaky on the money line last time I checked. I think it could go on a run though. I mean, I think this is going to probably move to plus 150, plus 140. And when it does that, definitely play it. As long as like the money line is also, you know, following in the same direction. Then the Athletics versus the Mariners. This is a little bit of a later game. The Seattle run line is looking pretty solid. Opened up at plus 155, went to plus 140. Level 5 money here on the Seattle run line. But at this point, I'm still watching it. I think it could develop a little bit further, and I would like to see it develop a little bit further. But, you know, it looks like it's going in the right direction so far, and the money line is supporting it. I also like the over in the Rockies Tampa Bay Rays game. I think this is just going to be one of those days that's beautiful. The balls are sailing, and the overs are, even though this line has been bouncing around a little bit, I like this over here. And it's a warm day, and truthfully, like, warm air really does like affect things. So you know, I think this is gonna be a nice game to watch, and a nice bet to make as well. Then in NBA, I am, you know, I'm liking this Magic spread. I think this could go on a run. It hasn't quite developed into a play now, but I like it. And I think if it does go on a run, play it. And like I said, some of the sharper books have already moved this Orlando Magic spread to -1.5. So, you know, I think a lot of the other sports books are going to catch up very soon and move their lines, and that is like the beginning of your run starting to happen. That's what it looks like to me. So keep your eye on this one. And lastly, in the NBA, I liked the over in the Lakers-Grizzlies game. Just solid. You know, the line's moving in the right direction. The money's moving in the right direction. Looks like a solid play there. And finally, in hockey, you know, I am really liking this Sharks money line. I think it's developing nicely, but, you know, maybe a little bit more of a sprinkle here. But keep your eye on it. I like it so far. And those are all of the plays I have for today. I will definitely be thinking about all those hockey players having some edibles while I'm watching this hockey game tonight. And maybe I'll have some edibles myself. I already had one today, so we'll see how this kicks in, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it and how it hits and the effects and all of that jazz. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to write me anytime. You know, you could reply back to any of my emails just by going to arielcalista.com. Sign up for my free daily emails just by clicking on the Stay in Touch button, and then reply back to them anytime. Any questions that you have, anything you just want to talk about. It's very easy to reach me. And also, I really appreciate everyone, you know, going out there and also supporting my small businesses out in the world, like with Silray, and, you know, like telling me how you're winning and, you know, like doing things. It just shows like reciprocity, and I truly appreciate that. And that's what we're trying to build here. You know, a good environment where we all like share information with each other and win together and, you know, lift each other up and lift each other's businesses and lives up. And that's what we're building here, and I love it. We have a great community. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming back day after day, week after week to the Sports Betting Illuminated stream and really turning it into something special. So thank you so much, everyone, and I will be back here Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern for some more winning plays, and I hope to see you all then. Bye. Good luck, everyone, on all of your wagers today.